Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, I'm Caitlin, a whole 23-year-old trying to keep it up with the passions that she has. Nonetheless, I'm really tired, but it's either I do this tired or I keep procrastinating. Okay, so for today I wanna go a bit into positive thinking, how to how to balance out your maybe bad thoughts, for instance, with some positive things, and like how to handle that in terms of like a psychological view as well as a biblical view for yeah. Okay. So today's verse, I want to start off with Proverbs 23, verse 7. It says, "So a man thinketh, so is he." In brackets, more accurately, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." So this verse was literally ringing up in my mind yesterday and this morning because sometimes it's so easy to get lost in like the bad thoughts, conforming to that, where we forget that maybe there's some good things to be grateful about, or good thoughts to think about, or good thoughts to dream about you know um and then also so technically what I'm trying to say is that whatever you think, whatever you pay attention to within your heart or your mind, instead of just like bringing down those strongholds or imaginations that like try to make you think like the worst, you know you shouldn't you maybe end up conforming to them. You end up conforming to them, which is not supposed to be like that, because I think many of us psychologically, when we think about maybe the bad stuff, it is natural for us to maybe fall into like a rebellious heart, or just to harden our hearts, and then we end up getting like depression or getting anxious about all of the things that we can't control at that moment when it's spiraling. Nonetheless, but I'm here to tell you that the thing that you can control is your emotions and the way you deal with things, because those are literally the things that live within you, and that is your mindset. So to get into it, to start off, I learned a little thing when I was doing my conversational intelligence course via our company, and the guy said that when you having like anxiousness or stress, that comes from your stress hormone, which is called cortisol. So whenever you're feeling all of those bad stuff and you're just feeling drained or whatever that may be, we all know how negative emotions might make us feel, right? That is called cortisol, making us unproductive, but we should like strive for just to be in things that give us like oxytocin or dopamine. However, dopamine is like a temporary type of feeling that makes us happy right now in the moment, whereas oxytocin comes from like deep connection from things, like almost like a joy kind of, right? Like for instance, if you're doing a job that you really love, that gives you oxytocin every morning when you wake up, or when you're with loved ones, friends and family, right? Also, dopamine, you get it from, say for instance, like a bad dopamine feeling could come from maybe someone smoking drugs, because why, it's like a temporary high type of feeling. So dopamine can be good or bad, whereas oxytocin is like a filling type of feeling, almost lasting as well, right? Okay, so the way I would maybe tackle bad thoughts, or the way I would maybe try to get my mind into a better headspace, would be to just like, I don't know, try to think about good things. Pray a lot. Like I said, bringing down every stronghold and pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. I think that's 2 Corinthians 5 verse 10. So those are the things that I would think about, and just for God to give me like strength, also helping me in those moments. Yeah, so like also like journaling things down helps a lot, because it helps you understand how you're feeling, talking to people, just opening up. And then also in those moments when you feel like rebellious or like having a hardened heart, you maybe want to ask God in those moments just to give you like a heart of flesh and take away the heart of stone within you, because sometimes it's so easy to fall into like the bad feelings that we might be feeling because of situations we can't control. Yeah. And also just like asking God to like strengthen you, and it's not easy, but it's something to like exercise, and I think you would be very glad that you try to just think positive and like praying about it, having hope for things that are not seen as of yet, things that you're hoping for. That's what it says in the Bible, so, and then also sometimes the things that do give us like depression or anxieties, because maybe we're not seeing things happening in the ways that we would thought they would, right? And also just to like release control of predictability, because I think we would maybe find more joy in knowing what is next. But sometimes when we don't know what is next, or we don't know how we're gonna get to the thing that we very much want, it could be stressful, because like I said, we love predictability. And this is something that I learned in the morning from Rohale. I think that's the guy on TikTok. So just like release predictability and what we thought it would look like, or how we thought our journeys would look like, and just giving it all up to God and let Him do things, because sometimes the way we imagine things to go is not how God would want them to. He has different, like He says in Jeremiah, my thoughts are higher than yours and my ways are higher than our ways, basically. So everything that He does, He knows exactly what He's doing, and we have to trust in that. And it was a bit nice hearing that perspective also, because it's so easy, when you know things, when you know what's happening next. But when you don't know, it could be stressful, but that could also give you an opportunity to just be open-minded to a different perspective on how maybe it could happen like in a whole different way. So yeah, so yeah, bad thoughts, just to pray about them. You can journal them down, talk to them with someone that you can trust, and then watch like fruitful things also, and then just to be open to let God do His thing, and like us letting go off of the control that would give us so much anxiety. We have our own plans, but God has His as well. Yeah, so I think I'm done for now. Just like so, have good thoughts. So a man thinketh, that shapes his or her reality. So let your reality be shaped by good thoughts. Yes, your situations might not change overnight, but your mindset should be the most important thing, to be like healthy, because it starts all upstairs, and that's where your day begins as well. So have good thoughts in your mind, be positive, dream those dreams, but never forget that God is in control of everything at the end of the day. And yeah, And also, like, as well, you know, when you're going through tough situations, sometimes don't always just speak. Try to analyze things for maybe what they are, what you're seeing, and then journal those thoughts also down from what you have observed. Maybe that could also show your own bad habits or triggers that you can work on for future references that could also shape your thoughts for the better. So yeah, okay, bye guys, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content. Yeah, nonetheless, God bless guys, and bye.